Dude, I have not told anybody this. I am a Grandmaster in chess. And have you ever heard of Guillermo Villa before? Have you ever heard of that
man.
name?
All I've heard of is Bobby Fischer.
Okay, well, Guillermo Villa is an Argentine Grandmaster. When I was a kid, I beat him twice.
Actually, I'm not a Grandmaster in chess. And the Argentine Grandmaster of all time, Guillermo Villa. He's one of the greatest tennis players of all time, but clearly has nothing to do with chess. So I could pull anything out of the 70s on these guys and they wouldn't know what's going on.
When Marty said, I am a Grandmaster in chess, I'm just thinking, duh, like it makes sense. It does make sense, man. He's always talking about it's a numbers game, and you can see him doing all these numbers in his head, and I'm like, sign me up. It sounds like a good deal, you know?
Every season of Survivor is a story. There are main characters, sidekicks, comic reliefs, and villains. A good season of Survivor tells a compelling story that has you rooting for someone and against someone else in hopes that it all ends in a satisfying conclusion. Each story that we look at together will go through one character's journey from beginning to end, from the time they're introduced until they inevitably get their torch snuffed or win the game. We will look at every character moment and strategic move to determine whether they were a hero or a villain and whether they were a good or bad strategist. And with that, welcome to Once Upon an Island. Now, for reference, we are only going to be observing what the TV show is showing us and what stories being told through the show. No future seasons will be mentioned, as the story and characters here have no idea about what happens in those future seasons. Secret scenes and behind the scenes footage may be included to flesh out the story, and all character moments and strategic moves are interpreted with the mindset of what the story is trying to tell us. And now with that,
39 days, 20 people, 1 survivor.
Marty Piombo, a 48-year-old tech exec from Mill Valley, California, was one of 20 castaways on Survivor Nicaragua. This is the first time Survivor has ever visited this country, and it is by far the ugliest location the show has been to. Kind of like what we saw in Tocantins and Samoa, we hear some first impressions from players, and Alina tells us that just seeing Marty makes her mad. She hasn't even talked to him yet. Wild. But Alina isn't the only one around here who's mad. Oh no. We meet Marty, and he says,
As I'm looking around at the group right now, I see Jimmy Johnson, an NFL coach. I mean, okay, I want nothing to do with Jimmy Johnson in this game. I frankly have no idea why the hell he's even here. And I'd rather have him on the other tribe, frankly.
Jimmy Johnson is by far the biggest celebrity to ever play on the show, but he's 66 years old, and everyone knows who he is. He's a Super Bowl winning coach. People know he has money. He's not going to win. He's not a threat. Jeff then says, welcome everybody. Our big twist this season is the Medallion of Power. Basically, whichever tribe has it can use it at a challenge to make it a bit easier for them. He says it's hidden somewhere around here. Go find it. Everyone then scrambles to find it, which results in Brenda getting it. But then Jeff drops another twist on them when he says,
This is not the way the tribes are going to be divided. We're now going to divide into tribes. If you are 40 and older, you're over here. If you are 30 and younger, you're over here.
Damn, man, I wanted the old football coach, baby.
I'm young at heart.
Oh, man, the older ones here, the younger ones there. I was looking forward to some of those young people carrying me. I don't want any of the old people with me.
When the switch came, my first thought was, oh, damn. The Antiques have the best coach you could ask for. They got a Super Bowl winning coach on their team. I mean, he's a great leader. That's what he's done his whole life.
there is no one between 31 and 40 this season. That is crazy. So we have a tribe of 30 and unders, aka LaFleur, and a tribe of 41 and older, aka Espada. Marty is on Espada, and unless Survivor changes how they do challenges, Espada's in some serious trouble. Jeff offers the younger LaFleur tribe supplies if they give up the Medallion of Power to the older tribe, and sure enough, they take him up on that offer. Upon arriving at their camp, everyone gets to work on building their shelter, and Jane, like a boss, starts a fire for them using only a pair of glasses and coconut husks. They've been on the beach for like what, an hour maybe? She's already done that. While working, Marty tries to strike up a conversation with Wendy by asking where she lives, what she likes, and she just gives like these short, curt answers and just walks away. Marty says she's kind of weird, which is only exemplified in the secret scene.
I think I got sand, all sand, because I got to scrape the bottom.
Don't put it, just swallow it and don't chew it there.
Dig in. We ain't getting no more today.
With Wendy, I feel like I'm being reminded to wash my hands before I eat, and you shouldn't be touching that, and there's sand in there. Are you remember where we are? Wendy Joe, we're in Nicaragua. Clearly, this is as good as it gets.
I think people think they know me, but really, they don't.
Hey, Wendy Joe, where are you from?
I'm from Fromberg, Montana now.
And you like horses?
I do.
She's a little weird.
We then meet Jimmy T, who is super annoying. I mean, there's no other way to put it. And he constantly is like yelling. He is constantly giving his input. He's over the top. He wants to be as respected as Jimmy Johnson, but he's not respected. And some people have already compared him to a crying child. It's day one. But that night, not only do we see their shelter collapse on them, but Jimmy Johnson is throwing up as well. I think Marty might be on the hot mess tribe. The next day, Jimmy Johnson decides to give them all a motivational talk.
The reason why I'm here is I'm here for the adventure. Because there's no way in the world a jury's going to give me $1 million. I know that. But the thing that I can do, I can help somebody win $1 million. Nothing would make me happier than to see one of you win $1 million. Just as long as we're psyched up for it and we know what we've got to do, we'll kick their ass.
I just got a pep talk.
Is Jimmy correct? Yes. Does Marty believe him? No. The men on this tribe have ego problems, and Jimmy Johnson is bringing this out of them as they all want to be the alpha male and they see him as a threat. At the immunity challenge, they choose to not use the Medallion of Power, a strange decision, and it immediately hurts them as they lose. Fun. Back at camp, egos are flying, and of course, Marty says Wendy is weak, sure, but Jimmy Johnson could win in a final 3. Dude, it's day 3. Don't worry about the final 3 right now. We then go to tribal council where Wendy says no one even tried to get to know me, which is wild considering we literally saw Marty try to get to know her and she just like cut the conversation short and she bolted out of there. But her main point is that no one asked her what her age is. She's on a tribe full of 40-plus-year-olds. They all know they're the older tribe, and they probably have the old school mentality of never asking a woman her age because it's considered rude. But the answer to how old she is 48, so I guess I'm the rude one now, and they all go to vote. And
Wendy Joe, we hardly knew you. It would have been awesome if you had played the game.
First person voted out of Survivor Nicaragua. Wendy. Wendy, the tribe has spoken. Time for you to go.
that is it for the premiere of Nicaragua, and so much of the storyline here has been about Jimmy Johnson that it seems like that's all we hear about from anyone, including Marty himself. We shall see if that changes. By the way, did you know that Patreon is free to sign up for? Yeah, that's the place where I give updates, post videos early, and have you all pick what I make now as a free option. Link in the description. You can cancel at any time, and there's a 15% discount if you do sign up for 1 year. Thank you for your support. Episode 2 sees Marty struggling to sleep as the bamboo is super uncomfortable, and he says, we need to do something, anything to make this more bearable. While they talk about what they're going to do about the shelter, Jimmy T says, let's go fishing. And Tyrone says, dude, no. Like, Jimmy Johnson's telling us what to do. Let's listen to him instead. But what does Marty think about Jimmy Johnson being their leader?
Jimmy J's jumping in and trying to give direction to the whole tribe. And I just sat back and said, okay, let's go. Let's roll with that. That's fine, because frankly, now I'm putting the pressure on him. You know, you be the arbiter. You know, I'm not putting my face out there anymore. You know, you're the man. And I think I can use that to my advantage in the event that we have to vote somebody else off.
If Marty sticks to that, then he's actually onto something, but he has an ego, so I am pressing X for doubt. Dan then says, where the heck are my alligator shoes? They cost me $1,600. I'm sorry, what? He says they cost him $1,600. Why would anyone bring shoes that expensive onto Survivor? Is he insane? Did he not watch the show before coming on? But then Holly says, I have to confess something. I took your shoes, Dan, and I put sand in them and then buried them in the river. Why is this tribe so bad? I guess Holly's gonna be voted off next, right? Why can't they just be normal? Why can't they just get along? At the immunity challenge, they wisely use the Medallion of Power and they win, which is what they should have done the first episode. With that win comes a reward, and inside of the reward is a clue to the hidden immunity idol hidden somewhere in their camp. Everyone reads this, but it's kind of like a puzzle that needs to be solved. So while out looking,
15 feet west of Tree Mail. It's Tree Man, Tree Mail. Go get it. Marty's a smart guy with good ideas, so I thought it would pay off in the long run to gain Marty's trust by sharing that with him.
I was really shocked that Jill gave me the key clue, and Danny was with me when Jill came up. So he's involved now, but I like him, and I think he could be pivotal. He could be dangerous later, but I think he could be pivotal if we find that idol. I certainly would not have found the idol if Jill had not given the clue about tree mail, no doubt about it. So the challenge now is, how do we make it work?
Wow, that was really nice of Jill to just let Marty have the idol. Episode 3 sees Marty seething with anger towards Jimmy Johnson because everyone likes him. No, seriously, that's basically it. Jimmy has done nothing wrong, and we constantly see him be super kind, helpful, and just generally charismatic. Marty is clearly jealous, and Jill says, "Hey Marty, it'd only be right to tell everyone, the entire tribe, about your idol." No it wouldn't, Jill. That would be stupid.
So guys, I have a little bit of an announcement. Found the immunity item. So I think this thing will really come into play when we're in a merge situation, so we'll play it when we really think that we need it.
Yeah, that announcement and move you just made right in there strengthened this tribe by about 5 times. That's it.
When Marty told everyone he found the idol, maybe he won some integrity points, but I think Marty's shady. I think he's for sure doing his own thing.
Everyone knows the idol can only belong to one person, and that one person is me.
As I said, that would be oh, he did it. That's okay. Well, why? This is always a dumb move, but maybe Marty has some big brain 40 chess move up his sleeve that we don't quite understand yet. Their tribe loses immunity because without the medallion of power, they don't stand a chance. Back at camp, Jimmy T is still endlessly nagging and talking. He keeps saying, "Just give me a chance, let me lead." But Marty doesn't care about that. He says, Jimmy Johnson needs to go so Marty can become the leader. Yeah, that's his true intentions this whole time. That's why he's so mad that Jimmy Johnson is there. He then starts telling people to vote Jimmy Johnson tonight, which most people say okay to, but Tyrone says Marty may be right about this move, about getting Jimmy Johnson out, but his motivations are purely selfish and he doesn't really care about the tribe at all. Based on what we've seen so far, this is accurate. At Tribal Council, Marty says everyone in this tribe has been lackadaisical about playing the game, and he is glad to see it accelerating. Be careful what you wish for, dude. It's only episode 3. This is kind of the part of the game where you're going just a little bit slow. So they all go to vote, and
Coach, you said you listened to everybody, but you never really listened to me. I tried to give my input, and it fell on deaf ears, so go long.
It was great having you around camp, but somebody's got to go. I'll get you on the flip side.
Third person voted out of Survivor Nicaragua. Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy, tribe has spoken. Time for you to go.
Like Tyrone said, Jimmy Johnson is the right decision, but Marty's motivations are purely selfish. Back at camp, it is pouring rain. I mean, it is just a monsoon, it seems like. And Marty's great dislike has moved on from Jimmy Johnson to Jimmy T, as he says Jimmy T is so full of himself, and he loves to hear his own voice, and he thinks he should be leading this tribe. But Marty knows he's dumb enough to ruin his own game, meaning Jimmy T. The rain ends finally. The sun rises the next day, and the beach is a disaster, and the small river they had now earlier is freaking massive. Marty then works on the fire, but he keeps putting the dry wood next to the fire that they have going. And Tyrone says, "Dude, I'm a fire captain. Trust me, don't put the wood there." And Marty's all like, "Oh, I'm gonna put the wood there." And Tyrone's like, "This is like the one thing I know. This is my job. Trust me." Now, this is a secret scene they cut out of the show proper, but it shows Marty's ego as he blows Tyrone off, even though Tyrone is right. All day, Jimmy T has been flapping his gums, and people are over it. So that night, when they're all laying in the shelter,
For the challenge, I think it's important to have either, for the most part, one voice that's going to delegate who's going to do which parts of the challenge. And I think, the person that's stuck out the most, I think, in terms of contribution or whatever, has been Tyrone. So
Marty's definitely not a big Jimmy T fan. It has to stem from insecurities because I'm an easygoing guy. He wants the ultimate control and nobody say anything. And anytime I try to give some input, he tries to mildly, humbly shoot it down. A couple times I'd like to tell Marty, will you shut up? You preppy little bitch. You wouldn't last a minute in my world.
I nominated Tyrone last night as the leader for the challenge. And by the way, I knew it would rile Jimmy T. He's like a 3-year-old.
You know what I'm saying?
JT is delusional. He has no idea. He suffers from both paranoia and from delusions of grandeur. Anybody that calls out Jimmy Johnson and says that Jimmy Johnson might be insecure because of Jimmy T's leadership capabilities has got some issues going on.
Egos are so easy to take advantage of on Survivor if you know what you're doing. If someone is smart enough, they could take advantage of Marty's. Big brain move on his part to help bury Jimmy T even further though. Before the immunity challenge, Tyrone tries to practice leading them, and not but a minute or two in, Jimmy T tries to take over and starts telling everyone what to do. Dude, chill out. So at the immunity challenge, the younger tribe uses the medallion, which has Jeff saying that the older tribe can use it in the next challenge. So of course they lose. Thanks to Tyrone and Jimmy T though, but mostly Jimmy T. Back at camp, Jimmy T says, "Let me be the leader," and dude is so annoying.
Marty gives me the cold shoulder all the time. What is it? I'm not a jerk, am I?
No.
I'm overbearing?
Well, I think sometimes you think people are doing something to you and they're not.
Right.
Don't be paranoid. Remember,
It's Survivor, dude. Somebody's always getting blindsided, and it's usually the guy that's a threat.
Jimmy T's been a real annoyance in camp. You know, he's the only one that ever's yelling and screaming, and every day you got to babysit him and tell him he's great and he's wonderful and you're the best athlete we have here, and you know, you got to tell him that every day, and he goes on a splurge and I'm sorry I went crazy. Oh, how many times can you apologize for being a moron?
Anyways, Jimmy T then gets mad at Marty for not doing something the exact way he said to do it, and Marty says this guy doesn't get Survivor at all, unlike me. At Tribal Council, Jimmy T is still ranting and raving about getting a shot to lead, and he wants to win them a challenge. And dude, people straight up say that Jimmy T is insecure, and yeah, they're right, and it's why he acts the way he does. So they all go to vote, and
See ya, pal. You made your first mistake within 1 hour playing the game. You made your biggest and last mistake when you crossed me yesterday.
Fourth person voted out of Survivor Nicaragua, Jimmy T. Jimmy T, the tribe has spoken.
Episode 5 has Marty saying, "Finally, I'm in control of this tribe, and I can see with complete certainty how the next 2 tribals will go." Does that sound super cocky to you, dear viewer? Because it's about to get better. As for the first time in 4 seasons, Jeff says, "Drop your buffs, we are swapping tribes." Marty hates this and even tells Jeff it's too soon to have one. Is it though? Is it? The merge is usually day 19 and we're on day 12 now. When is it the right time to have a tribe swap exactly? Marty lands on the new LaFleur tribe with Jill and Jane from the older Espada, and there's 5 young kids there, so they're down 3 to 5. Oh boy. Jeff then says, "I have another surprise. The Medallion of Power is no more." Okay. Was this planned? I mean, in the last episode, he literally says, "Hey, you'll get to use this in the next challenge." So it sounds like it was planned, and then they decided, screw it, we don't like the Medallion of Power, so it's out of here. That's all I can think of. Their tribe loses reward, and at their new camp, Jane immediately starts bad-mouthing Marty to the new members. And as it turns out, she's hated him this whole time. And I guess it's just now relevant to the story because no one told us this before now, but hey, I guess she's hated him the whole time. But as if that wasn't enough, Marty finds out that Nyanka of the old LaFleur, she's not on their current LaFleur tribe, of the old LaFleur caused lots of problems and berates them for not having voted her off sooner.
It doesn't seem to me like this tribe has had a lot of leadership. And frankly, at Espada, I got control of that entire tribe, and not necessarily by being a leader, but by being a player.
Fabio just told me that somebody just pushed somebody aside, ran off with a clue to the idol, and you guys let that fly. Come on, guys. I want to get off on the right foot with you guys. I have an immunity idol.
I think Marty is so arrogant. He just whipped out the immunity idol. You know, okay, no BS, I have the idol. And we're sitting there like, wow, so impressed. But in our heads, we're like, are you stupid? He's coming into our home and he's already setting up like he's the king. He has a lot of balls. That is the dumbest thing he could have done. Hello?
But why? In some ways, Marty is just like Jimmy T and he doesn't even know it. Blend in, become a part of this tribe. You're in the minority. I guess as a tech exec, he's used to being a leader and having people just listen to what he says, but yeah, dude, also I gotta mention, don't tell anyone about your idol. It's almost like there's so much nonsense here, I almost forgot about that part. Marty says his old tribe was like being a part in a serious drama, but now he feels like he's living in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. They do win immunity, and in the next episode, Brenda says, if we go to tribal, it's either Marty or Jill who will be voted off. We then see a secret scene between him, Jill, and Kelly Bruno, where they are very kind to her, and she says maybe I should team up with Marty and Jill, which would be a smart move given how mean her tribe has been to her so far. But then at the reward challenge, Jeff says both tribes are going to tribal council no matter what. Fun! Jill wins individual immunity, and people say the new plan is to split the votes between Marty and Kelly Bruno. But Marty decides to pull a 40 chess move out of his hat to convince some of these younger players to join him.
Dude, I have not told anybody this. I am a Grandmaster in chess. And have you ever heard of Guillermo Villa before? Have you ever heard
No,
that
man.
name?
All I've heard of is Bobby Fischer.
Okay, well, Guillermo Villa is an Argentine Grandmaster. When I was a kid, I beat him twice.
Actually, I'm not a Grandmaster in chess. And the Argentine Grandmaster of all time, Guillermo Villa. He's one of the greatest tennis players of all time, but clearly has nothing to do with chess. So I could pull anything out of the 70s on these guys and they wouldn't know what's going on.
When Marty said, I am a Grandmaster in chess, I'm just thinking, duh, like it makes sense. It does make sense, man. He's always talking about it's a numbers game, and you can see him doing all these numbers in his head, and I'm like, sign me up. It sounds like a good deal, you know?
I know I opened the video with that, and it's for a reason, because I think it's funny out of context, but now that you're this far in the video and you've seen how Marty is and how he plays, it's even funnier in context, given that it does make Fabio want to keep Marty now, since he thinks he knows one of Marty's big secrets. Absolutely amazing. Jane says, I hate Marty. He has never tried to work with me, so I'll be glad when he's gone. Marty straight up says, I think Jane's getting voted off tonight, so I'm not playing my idol. Is he delusional? This is textbook 101 of when you should be playing your idol. You're in the minority. Your buddy Jill has immunity. Play the idol. The problem is that Marty views himself so highly that he can't fathom why anyone would want to vote him out. We then go to tribal council where Brenda throws Marty under the bus.
She has to worry for Jill and Marty voting her out.
Me and Jill are 2, you guys are 5, so that's really sweet of you to put that on me.
What did you tell me?
She doesn't have to worry about me and Jill, so appreciate all
What
that.
did you tell me today?
But that's not what we're talking about. You said what she has to worry about. What she has to worry about are numbers. These 2 numbers here don't add up to a lot. 5 do. So you're wrong. No, I'm just saying you're wrong.
I'm not campaigning for Jane to be out. You guys
I know exactly what you're doing. I'm just saying LaFleur made the call. I didn't make that call.
If it wasn't obvious before, it is now. Play your idol. Obviously, you're a target. So they all go to vote, and
I ain't no sitting duck, honey. And don't ever fluff off a Southern woman.
You're the Black Widow, King Cobra, and Black Mamba all rolled into one. You may not be going home tonight, but the lines have been drawn.
If anybody has a hidden immunity idol and you want to play it, now would be the time to do so. Once the votes are read, the decision is final. The person voted out will be asked to leave the tribal council area immediately. I'll read the votes. First vote, Marty. 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 3 votes, Marty. Brenda. Brenda. 2 votes, Brenda. Kelly B. Kelly B. We have a tie. Marty has 3 votes, Kelly B has 3 votes. Here's what's gonna happen. Marty, Kelly B, you will not vote. Everybody else will vote, and you're voting for Marty or Kelly B. First vote, Marty. Kelly B. Kelly B, 2 votes, Kelly B. Kelly B, that's 3 votes, Kelly B, 1 vote, Marty. 6th person voted out of Survivor Nicaragua, Kelly B. Kelly B, tribe has spoken.
holy crap, that was some dumb luck. Emphasis on dumb, I might add. Marty should have been a goner. Back at camp, he is so upset that they didn't tell him the plan was Kelly Bruno all along. Fabio's like, well, basically we were just trying to flush your idol, which is not a good move on Fabio's part, but this is not Fabio's video. We'll talk about the silliness of that plan in other story videos. But for now, it's important to know that this new LaFleur tribe is bad. Like old Espada bad, because they lose the reward challenge and then they lose the immunity challenge. So of course, they want to target Marty again, but are worried about his idol. This is deja vu. Jane says, I look forward to Marty leaving because he treats her like she doesn't exist. Sash then talks to Marty and
what they're saying is they'll split the vote 3-2 tonight. 3 votes for you.
Yeah.
2 votes for Jill. The other option to strengthen us, you hand the idol over and I look you in the eye man to man and shake your hand that you are not going home tonight.
Right now I feel absolutely powerless in every
way, shape, or form. If I keep the idol, I have to use the idol tonight. So I give Sash the idol, and maybe I go home tonight, maybe I don't.
Curse at times, a good thing at times. Immunity idol is yours.
Well, it turns out I don't even have to dig for idols. All I have to do is ask for them. People will literally hand me an idol just because I may or may not keep them in the game a little longer. Marty made a big mistake. That's probably his biggest mistake in the game.
Am I taking crazy pills or is Marty taking them? Sash told him the plan and he still gifts him the idol. Marty then says, boy, I sure hope I'm not being voted out tonight. Well, you wouldn't be if you kept your idol and you played it. Oh, how far he has fallen since Jimmy T was voted off. At Tribal Council, Marty talks about how he plays the game and in the process disses Jane with some strays. A bit uncalled for and definitely not helping his case to stay in this game. So they all go to vote and
I hope y'all's catfishing trip in Nicaragua is over real soon. This game ain't over yet.
8th person voted out of Survivor Nicaragua. Jill. Jill, the tribe has spoken.
Again, dumb luck. So dumb. If these players were good, Marty would have been gone 2 tribals ago. But as they say, pray for the merge, and sure enough, here we are, day 19, and it's happening. Is this one too soon, Marty? Upon arriving at the merge camp, Brenda publicizes how Marty just handed Sash his idol, and Nyanka says, I thought Marty was smart until I heard that dumb story. But then a bunch of their supplies have gone missing and people are confused. That is until...
What about the frying pan? Is that gone too? That doesn't just get swept away by the tide, you guys. Like,
No, I think it's pretty obvious somebody stole it.
Bianca, did you put the flour back in the chest after you...
Everybody saw me put it in there. If you didn't put it, if you didn't see me, then you didn't see me.
I saw her take it and put it in her bag.
And I put it back. And I said I put it back.
Put it in your bag?
And I put it back.
Do you understand why everybody's
And that's why I'm
wondering why
telling
it
you
went
guys,
in your
Marty,
bag?
I didn't take it. Uncle Dan, I didn't take it. Fabio, I didn't take it. Sash, I didn't take it.
I just want one thing
I'm done.
answered.
Fabio already said what I said. I'm not gonna keep
I
explaining.
just don't understand why it had to go in your bag first.
You know
Why-
how many times I just said what I did? Like, what do you want me to do?
We're not asking you whether you put it.
So I'm not explaining. I lied to you guys. I'm just trying to play the game, but I did not do it in intentions to starve everyone.
She's saying that she was doing it for the benefit of the tribe. Sorry, I'm not buying it.
You don't have to buy it.
But you could have just said, hey guys, I think we're eating way too much flour.
Yeah.
Let's chill out a
It's
little bit.
a number of different ways that I could have went
rational
about it, but I went about it another way.
Stealing food, of all things, in Survivor. You would think that having done what she did would mean you're gone, like instantly gone. But anybody that's on the chopping block can be valuable to somebody else. She lied and she stole. How easy is that? Get rid of them. It should be that simple. But this game's never simple.
Wow. Nyanka has to be the next to go, right? I mean, Holly, I guess, survived earlier. People forgot all about the shoes, but this is too big to ignore. Well, Marty says, I still want Jane gone, and says she is a cancer to their tribe with her charisma and niceness. Okay, then. Brenda says Marty is wrong and he needs to go. How people still want him gone over Nyanka is beyond me. Did we just forget what we just witnessed? That just goes to show you how awful Marty is at this game, I guess. We then see Jane and Fabio win immunity, and Sash says, I know you all want to vote off Marty, but can we wait at least one more tribal council since I promised him I would? People are like, all right, whatever, let's vote off Alina instead. Excuse me, Alina over Nyanka? What did she do? What's going on here? So at tribal council, Marty wisely decides to stay under the radar to avoid putting any more of a target on his back.
And the misconception was by Miss Jane that I either didn't like Miss Jane or that somehow I didn't bond with her. The fact is that within 30 minutes of the game starting, Jane began a series of bad mistakes and bad decisions.
Whoa. I approached you and y'all fluffed me off.
Right, because you don't make an alliance within 30 minutes. I don't even
And
know
how
her
do you
name.
know if I'm strong or not,
So
Marty?
all I'm saying is, you let little old lady from South Carolina that catches the catfish and my
Carolina.
mama this and that
See,
mama
he
that.
doesn't even know where
if
I'm
she
from.
makes it to the
'Cause he's
final
made
three,
no effort to get
if
to know
you have
me.
watched Survivor, this woman will take the $1 million. If Jane makes it to the final three, I will cast my vote for this woman. If you think somebody's gonna take $1 million out of your pocket, that's what you gotta be thinking about.
My freaking goodness. Marty better thank Sash big time for letting him survive one more episode on this show as they all go to vote. And
I hope everybody is smart tonight.
You can't lie and steal and expect to stick around in this game.
9th person voted out and the first member of our jury, Alina. Alina, the tribe has spoken.
Episode 9 spells the inevitable doom for Marty that should have happened back in episode 6. He has had some major dumb luck on his side to push him this far. Nayanka, of all people, says Marty was so mean when he attacked the defenseless Jane at Tribal Council last night, but Jane takes revenge when she says,
The jackass name Mr. Farty is going to be his name from now on instead of Marty in my book. Is a freaking jackass to try to attack me.
Brilliant. Just brilliant. We then see Mr. Farty conspire to get Jane off, which is fine, but Jane is right there watching the whole thing unfold. I mean, she is right there. Come on. His team does win reward, which is ziplining, something we saw in Guatemala as well. Always a fun reward. And when Marty is out with these guys on the reward, he's like, guys, you should keep me. I'm so valuable. I'm good at this game. He sounds like Jimmy T. Why would that make them want to keep you? Why would they want people who are good at the game to stick around? Even if the statement was true. But we go back to camp where Marty becomes Chef Marty in the secret scene.
Tonight it's going to be another one of our stews, or my stews, actually. So we got some eggplant that's cooking slowly in the pot for about 40-45 minutes. Then we'll put in the hard root vegetables, simmer with some salt water from the ocean, and that's going to be our dinner before heading off to Tribal.
I never had eggplant before, and I tried to get Marty to let me cook it earlier in the week. Not gonna happen. You know, that'd be another plus for Jane.
I love Marty's cooking, but he's a very dangerous player and I don't trust him. So if it's up to me and my vote is the deciding factor tonight, then Marty just cooked his own last supper.
Jane then says Marty is evil and diabolical. Now I wouldn't go that far, but Marty is smug and arrogant. He then loses individual immunity to Brenda. It is so close. But yeah, he needed that bad. And at Tribal Council, he keeps trying to pitch voting out Jane, who Brenda agrees is a big threat, but he has been so inflexible and his target is too large to change what is about to happen. Basically, he never learned to shut up and follow. Nayanka says, I don't like Marty at all. I don't even like the way he walks. So they all go to vote and...
I hope it's you tonight and not me. You are a disgrace to every man who calls himself a father. If I had a child or a grandchild, there's no way in heck I would allow my child or my grandchild to come play with your children after you went off on me last week. That is an attack against women, plain and simple. And you're a disgraceful father.
Y'all's catfishing trip has been terminated because y'all messed with the wrong gator, Missy. This is for me and Jill.
First vote, Jane. Jane. Marty. Marty. 2 votes, Marty. Jane, that's 3 votes, Jane. Jane. 4 votes, Jane. Marty, that's 4 votes, Jane, 3 votes, Marty. Marty, we're tied. That's 5 votes, Marty. 10th person voted out and the second member of our jury. Marty, the tribe has spoken.
Good luck, guys.
So let's break this down. How is Marty as a character? Marty, aka Mr. Farty as Jane called him, is charismatic, fun to watch on TV and a real character, but here's the thing. His role was to be a know-it-all villain and he fit it well. If you don't like this type of person, well, you're not gonna like Marty. If you do like these types of characters, well, Marty fits it perfectly, like picture perfect. For the first 4 or 5 episodes, it looked like Marty might have been the smartest one in his tribe, like he actually was everything he said he was. But then the moment the tribe swap happened, Marty becomes like this stupid villain, and it's like, wow, I guess him and Jimmy T were more alike than we ever knew. Out of 13 character moments shown on the show, get ready for this one, 0 were heroic and 13 were villainous, making Marty a villain character on Survivor Nicaragua. Now, how is Marty as a strategist? How can someone be so smart and yet so dumb at the same time? I don't know. I mean, I probably fit that mold too, but seriously, if Marty scored amazing on an IQ test, I would believe it, but he should have been voted off in episode 6. And Mr. Farty, as Jane called him, I know I gotta say that multiple times, got so lucky he was playing with a bunch of buffoons because he lucked his way to the merge, in my opinion. Without a tribe swap, he would have entered the merge with a decimated Espada behind him, and even then, maybe not considering how much Jane didn't like him. Marty was never winning the season, and yet he was not an idiot by any means. It's very confusing. Out of 38 strategic moments shown on the show, 19 were smart, and 19 were dumb, making Marty an average strategist on Survivor Nicaragua. Thank you for watching, and doubly thanks for liking and subscribing. I'll see you all next time.